giving the floor to Mr. Antonio Carbone from the Agency for the Promotion of European Research. Please.
Thank you. Good morning everyone. First of all, let me thank you, the colleagues from the Ministry of Industry and Invitalia for hosting my intervention today and talk about Horizon 2020, the SMEs opportunities within the context of Horizon 2020 with particular reference to the SME Instrument. Horizon 2020 is the biggest funding program ever in the field of research and innovation. Take into account that we are talking about 80 billion euros of budget over the 7 years from 2014 to 2020, so 2020. Is a funding program supporting investment projects in the field of research but also innovation. It means that Horizon put a strong emphasis on the concept of innovation. It means brings research into concrete products, services, business model, processes, something close to the market. This is a change in the history of framework programs. If we talk about innovation, there is a strong involvement, a relevant role of the industry, of the small, medium-sized enterprises. So that we have to take into account this definition of a small, medium-sized enterprise. As you can see, is a quite broad definition, including startups, innovative startups, innovators, spin-off, micro-enterprise. SME Instrument and Horizon 2020 pay a strong attention to the necessities of the SME, small, medium-sized enterprise, and the European SMEs. This is the framework, this is the structure of Horizon 2020. I will say that it is a complex program because, as you can see, there are 3 main pillars. There are several sectors of application. There are like 23 calls or work programs. Today we will focus on the SME Instrument again. The work program of reference is innovation in SMEs with the red circle. Why SME Instrument? Because SME Instrument is I would say, the main opportunity for SMEs in Horizon 2020 in terms of budget available, budget allocated, in terms of easy procedures, in terms of close to market issues. More in details. Keep into account that SME Instrument it's not a research program. It's no longer a research project. Here you have to go to the market in a short way, 3-5 years, no more. As you can see from this slide, who are the evaluators of an SME Instrument proposal? It's not someone with an academic background, no. It's a venture capitalist maybe, it's an expert of that industrial sector, it's a consultant, it's someone able to assess the investment readiness of your proposal, and it's someone ready to assess the fact that someone will pay for your results. So the focus here under the SME Instrument, it's not the scientific or the technical progress, no, it's the business opportunity, it's the market potential of your idea. I will show you briefly the main features of the SME Instrument. It's a funding scheme, a funding program divided into 3 phases. Before the real project, which is called phase 2, it's the industrialization project, you can start from a preliminary phase, preliminary project called feasibility studies. So before the real application, you can get 5,000 euros of contribution, or it's a lump sum contribution, it's a forfeit, to delve into details about your market strategy, the analysis of the market, the analysis of the IP, intellectual property regime, the analysis of competitors. So this phase 1 is addressed to set up a complete, concrete, deep business plan And this is the base to apply in the phase 2. The phase 2, again, it's the real project. It's not research, it's validation, demonstration, testing in real environment, in the operational environment, in the industrial relevant environment. So you have to involve in some way the customer, you have to know the user needs, you have to know the customer. What's important, what's very, very useful, the phase 2, because we're talking about a project with a really high funding or reimbursement rate, 70%. It's a project with a duration between 12 and 24 months, no more. So again, pay attention to the market. We are close to the market, and at the end of the project, you have to be ready with your company to go international, as the Commission says. It means that, again, the time to market perspective is very, very short, no more than 2-3 years. Then it depends on the case, depends on the sectors, it depends on the companies, but this is the general rule. If the phase 1 it's a small big help to improve, to complete your business plan, the phase 2 is the project. The main feature of the SME instrument is that the single company can apply, can submit the proposal. This is an exception to the general rules of Horizon 2020 because generally speaking, traditionally speaking, in the framework programs, you have to build up a consortium, a partnership, a transnational partnership. This kind of project have to be carried out in a collaborative way. You have to find some strong partners to submit the proposal. It means universities, large industry, other companies, research centers. And this is a barrier. Often this is a barrier for the SMEs, especially the smallest or the youngest. Find a strong partner abroad, because we are talking about a transnational partnership. On the other hand, the SME instrument allows the companies to submit the proposal as a single applicant. Then, of course, you can outsource, especially in the phase 2, part of the working plan, part of the project activities. But you can be the only one, the unique applicant. And if we analyze the proposal submitted so far and the funded proposal so far, we can see that more than 80% of the proposal has been submitted by a single applicant. In any case, who are the legal entities eligible for funding under the SME instrument? Only small medium-sized enterprises, according to the definition that we showed in the previous slide. Only SMEs for profit. So you can submit a proposal as a single applicant or in a partnership of SMEs. The universities, to be clear, or the large industry cannot be partner of those proposals. They can be involved as subcontractors, as third parties if needed, but it is the company that will decide if involve them or not. So phase 1, the business plan. Project of 5-6 months with a lump sum contribution of 50,000 euros. Phase 2 is the industrialization project with a duration among 12 and 24 months with a funding rate or reimbursement rate of 70%. It means that you will plan, you will estimate a cost of proposal, you will submit a working plan, you will present a cost. The cost is 100%. The Commission will reimburse at 70%, which is a very high contribution or reimbursement rate. One of the main benefits of Horizon 2020, even in the SME instrument, even in the phase 2, is that the contribution will be paid under several tranches, including a pre-financing. The pre-financing is paid within 30 days from the beginning of the project. So you companies, especially the smallest or the youngest, that usually you don't have so much cash, so much liquidity, you have money, you have budget to start the project activities. And then there is also a phase 3. As you can see, we put this phase 3 in green, not in blue, because if we have a 50k contribution lump sum in phase 1, a 70% of reimbursement rate under the phase 2, under the third phase called commercialization, we don't have a direct funding, a direct contribution from EC, from Brussels, from European Commission. Under the phase 3, there will be a number of opportunities of networking for the companies selected under the phase 1 and phase 2. It means the possibility of participating to international or overseas fairs, so where you can find customer, collaboration, and so on. The selected SMEs will be provided of advanced training. Those SMEs will be get in touch with potential investors on the debt side, so mainly banks, but also on the equity side. So this is a key point of the SME Instrument, the visibility. The European Commission calls this SME Instrument the Champions League of Innovators in Europe. A part of the slogan, but this is a key point, because if you are selected under the SME Instrument, you won a high competitive selection, and it's likely that you are on high growth potential companies, and it's likely that some further investors are interested in investing in your idea and your company. And the European Commission likes this way, this strategy. So the public funding as a attractor to leverage further investments, especially for the growth stage, especially for the internationalization, where the public funding cannot intervene anymore because we are on the market. So the private funding, banks rather than venture capitalists, more than business angels, can support further your idea and your market strategy. This slide, the next two slides show you some activities, some examples of activities under the phase 1 and under the phase 2. As you can see, it's not research, it's not basic research, it's not development, but it's validation in industrial environment. We are close to the market, we have to involve the customers, we have to know the user needs. If we have customers to be involved into the proposal, it's better, so enclose to the proposal letter of interest by those customers. I will show you briefly an overview of the rules of participation of the SME Instrument. So we delve into details about the rules of participation in comparison with the general rule of Horizon 2020, in order to show how the SME Instrument facilitates the participation of the companies. As we told before, the first main rule of the SME Instrument is the possibility to apply, to submit the proposal as a single applicant. So the transnational partnership is not needed. Funding rate and project size. So those slides is just to summarize something that we already mentioned. Generally speaking, in Horizon 2020, we have an international partnership, we have a research project and innovation projects. The research projects are funded, are not co-funded, are funded 100%. So they are fully, the activities and the cost, the project costs are fully covered by the European contribution. When we talk about innovation project like the SME Instrument, we are close to the market, there is less scientific technical risk. So the funding rate is decreased to the 70%, as in the case of the phase 2 of the SME Instrument. For the phase 1, again, there is a lump sum, 50k, 50,000 euros lump sum. About the project size, under the collaborative project, there are several sides of the project in terms of duration, number of partnership, and contribution. From 2 years to 4 or 5 years, from 2 million euros of contribution by EC up to 10 or 15 million euros. Under the SME instrument, we are talking about small size of project in the context of Horizon 2020, of course. 50K in phase 1 and around, we can ask a contribution between 500,000 euros and 2.5 million euros under the phase 2. This is the contribution, so this is the 70%. As you can see, higher is the contribution request, higher is that 30% not covered by the European contribution. So you have to demonstrate, you have to ensure the evaluators that you can cover this part of project cost. Under the SME instrument, we are presenting a kind of business plan, an industrial plan. Of course, with the logic, with the rules of Horizon 2020, with the template, the model proposal templates of Horizon 2020, with the jargon, the language of Horizon 2020, but we are submitting a business plan to the European Commission. It means that the aspect of the financial sustainability is very, very relevant. This is another very interesting feature of the SME instrument. It is an open call. What does it mean? It means that there are several cutoffs, several dates, several deadlines per year, and each cutoff, most likely is each quarter there is a cutoff, both for phase 1 or phase 2. Each cutoff is a competition, so you can apply for the next phase 1 cutoff, 9th of November, but if you miss that cutoff, there will be another opportunity after 3 months. The same for the phase 2. So this is another benefit, another useful feature of the SME instrument, because you don't have, as usual, only one cutoff per year. And if you miss that cutoff, the topic changed, so maybe you miss an opportunity. No, here you have each quarter, each 3 months, the opportunity to submit the proposal and to get the proposal ready. Again, the single SME, the legal entity, can submit only one proposal at once. I will be more clear in a while about this feature. The SME instrument, as we have seen at the beginning of my presentation, makes reference to the Innovation in SMEs work program. Under that work program, you will find 13 topics funded through SME instrument. I think there is a problem with the slide. But in next few slides, I will show you the 13 topics funded under and through the SME instrument. Okay. Another interesting point is the time to grant. The time, as we know, it's very, very important when we talk about business. The Commission tried successfully, I would say, to speed up the process, all the administrative burden. The time to grant, it means the time between the deadline and the signature of the contract, of the grant agreement between Commission and the selected companies, is very, very short. 3 months for the phase 1 project, 6 months for the phase 2 proposals. This is the list of the 13 topics funded through the SME instrument under Horizon 2020. There are 2 slides. In the first column, you can see the, let's say, the title of each of the 13 topics. Each topic makes reference to one market sector, the ICT, one domain, the ICT, the nanotechnologies, energy sector. So you have to select the topics of your reference. The second column includes the amount of budget allocated for that topic for that year, 2016 and 2017, because in Horizon 2020 our work program covers 2 years. And then in the last column you can see the funding or reimbursement rate under the phase 2, which is always of 70% with an exception under the SME Instrument 5 in the healthcare, biotechnology sector, where the time to market is longest because of the future of this market. And that's the reason why the Commission funds the phase 2 100%. So you have to know Horizon 2020 to select the most suitable topic when you submit an SME Instrument proposal. I give you an example. The ICT, the ICT, Information and Communication Technology, is everywhere in Horizon 2020. So even if you deal with ICT, digital, with the software platforms, you could think that the SME Instrument 1, Open Disruptive Innovation Scheme, is the most suitable, but maybe you're talking about you deal with the smart cities and communities, and the smart cities issues are funded in Horizon 2020 in the energy sector. So the most suitable topic could be not the first one, but the SME Instrument 9, stimulating the innovation potential of SMEs for a low carbon and efficient energy system. So again, you have to know Horizon to select the right topic under the SME Instrument. As national contact points, I'm a small medium-sized national contact point in Italy for Horizon 2020. We deal daily with a lot of SMEs, we have seen a lot of proposals, we talk with the Commission, we talk with the evaluators, and we try to support, this is our institutional role, we try to support the Italian companies in submitting the proposal in Horizon 2020. They are the main weaknesses point under the proposal. Again, it's not SME Instrument, it's not research, market strategy. In a lot of cases, the market strategy, it means I know the customer, I know the competitors, I know how to reach the customers around Europe and globally speaking. This market strategy, so channel of distribution, promotion, is missing. There's a lot of description, a deep description of the innovation on a technical point of view, but this is not the focus of the SME Instrument. The focus of the SME Instrument is the business opportunity. Why you will produce added value, why you are better compared to your competitors. If there is not partnership, as we told, there is only one company as a single applicant, the so-called execution capacities are relevant, are fundamental to assess this proposal. The staff description is fundamental. You need to provide a good description, a deep description of the staff involved in this proposal. And if you are a startup, it's likely that your organigram is not yet completed, but the European project is the means to growth, is the means to enlarge the staff of your companies, is the means to, let's say, growth, so in terms of turnover, in terms of number of employees, in terms of shares, in terms of profit. So this is the focus of the SME Instrument. Pay attention when you describe your innovation, describe that by providing a benchmarking to the competitors, so compared to the solution already existing into the market. This is a list of useful links. The official Horizon 2020 website, the participant portal is the website of the European Commission where you can find all the official documents of Horizon 2020. You can download the course, the work programs from the participant portal. You can submit a proposal to the participant portal. So you have to register and then you can submit a proposal by selecting, for instance, a specific SME Instrument topic. EASME is the executive agency for small medium-sized enterprise. It's an agency of the DG Growth of the European Commission, and it is the actor in charge to manage the SME Instrument. And then we have also other websites, including our website, APRE. APRE is the Italian agency for the promotion of European research. We are the hosting organization, all the national contact points for Horizon 2020 in Italy. The national contact points is someone able to support and advise you when you decide to submit a proposal in Horizon 2020. I think I can stop here with my presentation. I know that I went very, very quickly, but now we can open the Q&A time to clarify and for further clarification. This is my contact, even for next days. If you need some more clarification, we are available.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you very much. It was very interesting. Now I'm asking our friends to submit questions.
In the meantime, I can add something about
yes,
maybe
please.
the participation of startups, of innovative startups in Horizon 2020 and the SME Instrument. I can say that this participation is strongly recommended and welcomed, especially in some sectors like ICT. If you have a look, if you remind to the title of the SME Instrument under the ICT, it is called Open Disruptive Innovation Scheme. So in that case, European Commission is looking for disruptive innovation. And it's empirically demonstrated that the disruptiveness, it's a matter of startups, young entrepreneurs, young researchers. But a part of the SME Instrument, there are a lot of opportunities for startups in Horizon 2020. There is also an opportunity called access to risk finance, where the European Commission, through the involvement of the European Investment Fund, selects some financial intermediaries, both banks, loans, and venture capitalists of investment funds, which maybe are more close to the need of a startup. And this is another opportunity to get support from Horizon 2020. And again, startups are one of the main targets of Horizon 2020 and the SME Instrument. I can see you that if we consider the proposal funded under the SME Instrument, 1/3 of the funded companies are startups.
Maybe Mattia wants to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something regarding how to get information about the Italian startup ecosystem. Maybe I can go there, and show some online magazines that could be of your interest by sharing the screen. So if you want to keep yourself updated about what is happening in the Italian startup ecosystem, good websites where you can go are the following ones. I will just share their names, so that you can take note of them. This is the first one, Economy App. It's quite insightful. It has lots of news updates, stories about startups, and about investment rounds involving Italian startups. Same thing applies even in a more detailed way to the following website called startupitalia.eu. Okay, this also have a part in English, while Economy App is just in Italian, unfortunately. This is a very bad side of the Italian startup ecosystem. Unfortunately, it's used to communicate itself just in Italian. But this contains also some news in English, so it's a good media outlet for you to know. Then I wanted to encourage any of you guys who want to indirectly advertise themselves through us, since you are recipients of the Italia Startup VISA program. When we ask you for stories, when we share your contacts with journalists, etc., please use this channel, because it's a good opportunity for visibility for your companies. For example, there was, this is another one, Corriere della Sera. There was an article that came out last week. Numero del lavoro, Italia Startup VISA. I just want to show it to you because it gives you a very tangible feeling about how useful it is for you to share your story with us, because then at turn we can do the same with journalists, working also for major Italian newspapers such as Corriere della Sera. This picture may be familiar for Alexander Barinov, and we also have Arthur, we also have Tiago Papasena, and some other of you guys. So this is a very nice one too.
Just not here.
Reza Paya. So guys, I mean, like we are very open to forms of collaboration such as this one. So if you want to share your stories with journalists, etc., just try to incentivize us to do so. We're gonna be helpful also with this regard. Another thing that I would really like to highlight is the importance of the SME instruments under the Horizon 2020 program. I know that you guys may be tired now because we have brainwashed you first I with the Italian Startup Act, then Daniela with the Smart and Start Italia program. I know that following us for 2.5 hours in a row is very hard, but don't underestimate the power, the importance of the SME instrument, because there's lots of money at stake, and part of this money is in form of grants.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good money, and it's good for you to know that this opportunity exists. So, use this contact with Antonio, because it's very strategic for you. And the very last thing is that, what is this? Oh my God. There's like an alternative to the Startup Italia website and to the Economy app website, which, as I said, are mostly in Italian, is on Facebook, the Italian Startup Scene group, which includes like more than 20,000 people. And there you can also start conversations with relevant players from the Italian ecosystem in English, because of course many of them can speak this lingua franca. And if you want to get updated information about the Italian ecosystem and get in touch with other startups and get to know insightful people, this Facebook group is very lively. Okay, any questions?
No, I only remembered all the website we saw, so they have the note of the website. I want to thank you everybody for your participation, and remind you that the next webinar will be next Monday. It will be very interesting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Italian time.
Yeah. The president of the Italian Business Angels and the Italian Venture Capital Funds Associations are going to be there. So be smart, sell yourself, tell them about your story, be interactive, and like seize this opportunity, because it's a very good one.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Have a
See
nice
you
day.
next Monday.
Bye.